Alright. Let's go here. Yeah, this will work. So basically, oh, never mind. This is an old save. We don't want to save on that. Load game. Yeah, this will work. So, yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. And basically, it's space engineers spawn in a little drop pod, fall down to the planet, and then you have those resources to get started, but you do like hand mining of basic resources. So like, if I go here to my GPS, I have like gold and stuff, gold, silicon. You get all these materials that you find in patches, which if I fly up kind of high enough on the ice, it's real easy to see. Looks kind of like that. You have to you have like discoloration. Yeah, discoloration on the ground and everything. Look at that. There it is. So you get kind of close to it with the drill, and it'll show you where the ores are. And then down here, there's like a gold vein. I can mine out and everything, but you have to hand gather these resources, take them over to the survival kit to produce components that you can use to build blocks. And you can use those blocks to make things like these ships here. So this is a little spaceship I threw together. It's hydrogen based. It's got a little solar panel there to recharge the battery and everything. It's got my custom auto turret up here at the top, and this is using the assault cannon block. But you can do like custom made turrets like that, or there's go here and search for turret. There's like pre-built turrets that you can place. Like this is basically the same thing as that, but it's just not. It's not as good because these ones that you can place have limited range. Whereas if I do this, like I can actually fire this weapon and it'll reach out as far as the ammunition type will allow. It's like with the assault cannon, maximum range is 1,400 meters. With the assault cannon, like pre-built turret, it can only attack targets within 800 meters. But within 800 meters, the enemy's guns can also target your ship. So if I do a manual turret like that, then, like, as long as I see them, I can actually engage from a much further distance where I'm actually outside of their range of attack. But you can build ships like this and everything. So it's all like just each individual block. So like over here do thrusters. It's like you have a bunch of different thrusters. You got atmospheric, ion, and hydrogen. You have a bunch of different like sizes for each grid size too. So like this here would be a small grid ship, and then the base that I have here I've built as a large grid. So you see there's like a real big blocks, and then there's smaller blocks, and the small blocks are great for, you know, like small things, miners and stuff like that. But the large grid, like blocks and stuff, are just a whole lot more efficient and everything. Like for instance, I've tunneled this out, and over here I've put all my manufacturing stuff. and a bunch of cargo. But like this block here is the refinery. It'll turn ores into actual usable ingots. And then buried in these speed modules, I have the assembler. And that will turn those ingots into components. If I go here to production, right, go to assembler, I can make like these basic components here. I can make better tools, weapons, ammunition, different equipments and stuff. Like oxygen, hydrogen bottles, you'll need those if you go to space. Canvas, which is used for the parachute block if you're sending like cargo drops down to a planet. Then over here it shows you all the blocks you can make for large grid and small grid. And if you click on one of these, it'll put the components needed to build it into production. So say I wanted to make this. Click on that and it'll produce the components that I need to actually build that. And then if I go here, I can find that block. There's like a search bar, so that was the saddle cockpit. So if I put that over here, right? See, I don't have any materials for it. But if I go here and then do saddle, I add this to my build planner. And I can middle mouse click on that and that'll give me all the components I need to make it. So I can just place it down here and then I can build that up. And now I have a functional cockpit, except there is no power, there's no mode of transportation attached to it, no storage. So it's not really going to be, like, it's not going to do anything until you add all the other stuff for it. So like, for power you have batteries you can place down. There's large and small grid versions of them. And then to actually get that power you can do, like there's these wind turbines. You can get, there's solar panels, and there's like actual nuclear reactors, which you need uranium, which you can only find in space, which, as you can see by all the tags I have up there, I visited quite a few asteroids up there, but that's the wind turbine setup I have right now that powers my my base. And then these here ships, when they're connected up to the base, I have it set. It's like for this one, if I go in here, control panel for it. Show hidden blocks. I have a event controller right here, and when I connect up to the base, it will do some actions. So it'll switch the batteries between recharge and auto. So that way the batteries charge up, it'll turn off my gyros, the thrusters, the lights, and yeah, that's all I have set up here. But now if I press 9, it turns everything on. So like all the lights, batteries, and everything. And then I can connect back up, which I can do it like this right here. Or number 2, I have a little camera here that I can use to block out. So let me fly off this way a little bit, and then I press number 2. Now I have a camera that I can use to dock up with. Yeah, that'll work. Just dock there. You can see that little camera right here. But it's a pretty fun game. I got like an ore detector here. I did gyros over there, which you need those in order to be able to like point your ship around and look around, because the the way that the game functions as far as how it calculates thrust and all that, you have to have a thruster facing in whichever direction you want to be able to thrust in, right? So here I have these large ones pointed down. I have 4 pointed back. I have a total of 6 of these pointed forward. Then I have 2 on either side, pointing, off to either side. And then that allows me to move in every direction, except I can't move down unless I lessen the amount of thrust that these are producing. But that's fine for on planet. In space, you have to have downward facing thrusters if you want to be able to maneuver down. I think, yeah, I got 2, just 2 here on the back for that. But yeah, that's all well and good. Also, in this game, like say I have all my up thrusts on the back, you would expect that if I were to turn those on, it would just flip the ship. The back end would go down, the front end would go up. That's not how it is calculated in the game. Basically, the thrust is calculated from the center mass of the ship. So you don't really have to take that into consideration. In the second game, Space Engineers 2, they might make that something you have to worry about, but in this game, nah. Then a bunch of bits and bobs shoved in here. I got the battery hidden in between there, but got like cargo containers and stuff on here. got the large cargo container, and then I have a medium cargo container somewhere on here. That is just to store the ammo, because these are pretty heavy. Take up a lot of space. Yeah, medium containers right there, just under where the cannon connects up at. But this is a pretty fun game. I had to build my little miner that I got there and use that to dig this out, because when you start, there's no like just natural generated tunnels or anything, but I had to actually dig all this out using the mining ship I built. And it's a pretty fun game. There's no real goal or story or anything, but it's fun to just kind of like play around with and build custom ships and stuff. There is like enemy factions and everything, so that one menu, go here to the factions. And there's like different NPC factions. There's no like NPC like characters, right? Like there's no people walking around and stuff, but there'll be like enemy AI controlled ships and stuff that you can fight, like pirate ships and drones. And when your reputation worsens enough, it's like with space pirates, right? Like this one here, I have a really bad reputation with them, and the more that I actually fight them, the more often there'll be like waves of enemies coming in to try to attack me and everything. So right now it's pretty early on in the game on this save, so I don't need any like actual defenses or anything, but eventually I will probably want to put turrets up. With the base being inside the ground like that, the drones are going to have a really hard time trying to get in to attack anything, because the AI pathing isn't all that great. But they will definitely destroy my wind turbines and everything. So that'll be something to consider. I mean, you can turn all that off. So if I just go here, I don't care about that. If we go here, say I want to do a new game, we do this solar system and customize, and you can change pretty much everything from your character's inventory size, the amount of like environmental hostility, right? You can change the crafting speed of everything, how fast it takes to build stuff. You can change sound mode, world size, view distance. If you come down here, you can turn on and off like cargo ships, permanent death. You can enable or disable the economy, which was an update not too long ago that adds in like NPC space bases and everything that you can trade with. So actually, if I go over here, yeah, it looks like I'm in space here. So on this save, when you start up, you should have a data pad in the seat of your drop pod, which will have the location of one of the stations. So, got my so there's a station right over there. Okay. Ship around here. Turn off the dampeners, and I'll start thrusting over there. I think that's good. I can turn that off. You can also customize all the screens here in the cockpits and stuff too. So like I got the time down there. Got everything that changed to be green with a black background, but you can change all that if you go here to this. It's like say that center screen. Yeah, if you don't want the artificial horizon, you can change it to be like energy and height, hydrogen, gravity, targeting info. You can have it be the weather if you want, and you can change the colors on it and all that, change the background. But just for visibility reasons, I like to have it green on black. Oh, that's blue now for some reason, but anyway. Then if you leave your ship while you're flying through space, your dampeners will automatically try to keep you at the same speed relative to your ship, so you can fly around it just fine and all that, and do repairs like while you're moving. It's not recommended though, because if you're outside of the ship and you start coming up on an asteroid real quick, it can be bad pretty quick. But this was one of my earlier designs. I tried to make it do a little bit of everything, and it didn't really work out too well. But no, and in the gravity world of planet. So let me go away there. See down there at the bottom it says P gravity 0.05. That means if I leave my dampeners off, I will fall into the planet. Which I don't particularly want to do. So that should be a little bit better. Sometimes while you're flying through, you'll see like have all these tags. Sometimes a red one will pop up, and it'll be like a pirate faction base or ship flying through. Like little random events. There's an unknown signal up here, which if you go to these, it'll give you a chance to get a cosmetic item for like suit and stuff. You can trade these on a Steam store for actual money too. Like you can sell them on the market and stuff, but you can also scrap ones that you don't particularly like and get a token back, and every 4 of those tokens you get for like duplicate items or whatever ones you don't want, you can click a button in your cosmetic shop, and it'll or not shop, but in the cosmetic screen, and it'll use 4 of those tokens to generate a new random item for you. Yeah, I should be slowing down. Ooh. that stops. There we go. Because I'm still moving relative to the ship. Yeah, there we go. So now I can go over here to this unknown signal. There's a bunch of different types and styles of them. Some of them have like thrusters on them and stuff. Like this one here has an ion thruster, so it'll try to get away from you. But if you can click that button, it'll do that screen. I didn't get anything from that, but you can get like the cosmetics, like got the golden grinder here, and I got the scrapper uniform on, but you can get like different gloves, boots, helmets, and stuff. But that's just a pretty fun little side thing you can do. What do they do with the ship? There it is, Spacewalk. You can turn your dampeners off on your suit jetpack as well, so you can kind of fly through without using up your suit's hydrogen, which makes things a bit better as far as burning through all your fuels. You also need to worry about the energy of your suit, your oxygen, and your health. If you run out of hydrogen for your jetpack, it don't really do anything other than if you're in space, you'll be stuck. If you run out of energy, you'll start taking damage, and if you run out of oxygen, you'll start taking damage. And if you die, you can respawn on like survival kits. The ship's still moving. I thought I turned my dampeners on. Nope. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, see, when I died, I respawned on the survival kit that I have on this ship here. Sure would be nice if I could get to the... It's moving too much. Damn. There we go. Okay, yeah. Didn't turn the dampeners off. Okay, that's fine. When you die, you drop everything you had on you, but it'll be on a backpack that gets marked with the body location tag. And you can go and pick up, like, if you had better tools or something that you want to keep, you can go back and pick those up. Or you can just build new ones if you don't really care. Eventually those will despawn, but it takes a good bit of time. Okay, now I'll turn the dampeners back off. So anyway, you have like, yeah, the survival kit here. You can respawn on these. You can respawn on medical rooms, which are like a better version of the survival kit. That's about it. If you don't have any of these on, when you die, it'll go to the initial respawn screen where you can choose a drop pod on a planet to start in, where you can start in space, and it'll give you like another drop pod to work with. You can grind everything down off of it and all that, and use those resources to help build you another base if you want. But if you don't break down your drop pod and you respawn, it'll delete the last drop pod. Kind of bumped that, but inside the this obvious blue bubble around the station, nothing takes damage inside of that. And as a player, you can actually build one of these and run it like on your own base or whatever. It only works on a static grid though, so you can't put it on a ship and just have the ship moving around all willy-nilly and stuff with the invincibility on. But in these little stations, you have a store here, and the items here rotate around regularly. You can find like different materials that might help you out or something. These data pads are nice. They they have GPS markers on them and stuff. that you can use to find more of these stations. The zone chips are what you need to run the little invincibility shield or whatever. You can sell stuff here, but only what they have on listing. You can get these credits from the like that unknown signal that I went to. They have a little cargo container on them, and they can have credits in there. You can also do contracts. It's like there's search contracts, acquisition, where you need to get a certain type of material and a certain amount, and you bring it back and you get a decent amount of credits. You can do escort contracts where you have to fight off a bunch of AI drone ships with guns. Some of them have like grinders and will try to smash into your ship and tear it apart. But for like the escort contract, you have to protect another ship as it gets from point A to point B. And there's these search contracts where you go out to a designated area and then you try to find a little ship, kind of like the unknown signals, and you just get kind of close to it. You find it, and it'll teleport out, and get the credits for that. There's also repair contracts where you get paid to go and fix any damaged blocks on a particular ship. Those aren't really good to do. Like, see this acquisition contract, you can get 485 of these metal grids, and you can get 1.6 mil. Or you could do one of these repairs where you have no idea how many materials are needed or what exactly is needed or anything like that. But you get way less money for it. So like, you might need like materials that are worth more than what this acquisition contract calls for from one of these, and then you only get like a fraction of the money. So the acquisition is way better than the repairs. It's just a fun thing to have, I guess. There's also bounty missions, which there aren't any here, where you have to go and destroy a certain ship. You can do those contracts and stuff, and there's different types of stations. Like this one here only has building materials in its rotation, but there are some that have whole ships that you can purchase, and when you do that, it'll just spawn the ship right outside the base, just in the blue area, sort of like how I have my ship floating over here. We'll just put it somewhere out here, and then you basically just bought a full ship. The base, like purchasable ships, aren't too bad. They're not great, but they're not terrible. Like, it's a functional ship. You don't have to put any real work into it, other than trying to build stuff to get up to a point where you can purchase one, because there are several million credits, which isn't exactly cheap. It's not easy to get that many. There's also like these unidentified signals. You'll get one at a time, and I think it lasts like 24-ish hours or so, and then that one will disappear and you'll get a new one. And basically that's like the newest late game encounter, where try and stop yawning. Where there's like this Prototech is what it's called. Prototech gear, which is like better versions of the base game blocks. So if I go here and I do, well, guess it's not going to show it. There we go. Yeah, the Prototech jump drive, thruster, refinery, assembler, gyroscope, battery, and drill. And these all require the Prototech components. So you'll see over there where it says components, there'll be certain ones that have the word Prototech on it. And you can only get the materials needed to make those components from that encounter. So you have to do that in order to get the materials to make these. But a lot of the time, those will be like bases and stuff with pretty powerful turrets already on them, and you have to try to survive it and get those turrets down to where you can actually salvage it, get those parts. Sometimes you can find like full Prototech components, so you can like find full blocks over there that you can either break down, turn into the components, and then, well, like disassemble those components and then build the ones you need for the block you want. Or if it's something you want on there, you can just disassemble it and then rebuild it on like your ship or whatever. But those encounters are pretty cool. Other than that, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to the game aside from just being kind of like an open world sandbox sort of deal. If I go back over here to new game, there are some story type things. It's like this one here. This isn't really so much a story as it is just kind of like a map that has like a bunch of pre-built stuff on it. This one here is a story sort of deal, where you start off on the Pertam planet, which has like crazy high gravity on it and everything, which makes it difficult to escape the gravity whirl. So if you start like on planet and you try to fly off the planet, you're going to need a whole lot more thrusters than from any other planet. But there's like a bit of a story to it. There's also this one here. Yeah, this one is basically like a defense sort of thing you can do. There's the empty world where there's no planets or anything, it's just a bunch of asteroids in space. This is just a creative mode type base you can start at. There's a solar system, that's what I like to do, and when you do that you can just choose whatever planet you want. There's also over here, there's these story missions you can do. This one here is like learning to thrive. This is basically trying to teach you how to play, but it's not very good at that. This one here is where you'll just be attacking or be attacked by a bunch of waves of drones. They'll just keep coming at you and trying to kill you. Then this is one of the first like major story missions, where it actually had like waypoints and objectives and stuff, and you can play through that. It's kind of difficult if you don't really know what you're doing, but it's not too terrible. There's also like these PvP scenarios if you play online, which is kind of a pain to do because you have to do a direct connect. I'm not sure how it works on console though. But over here you actually have to like know the server you're trying to connect to and all that. Where you can just do like LAN, like direct connect with your friends and stuff to play. These are like PvP modes though, so you can do like split off into teams and see who can kill each other best or whatever. The original content here is like basically just different starting points that you can use for a playthrough. So like say you want to start with a crashed ship, you can do that with this. Where basically you're just in space with this wreck of a ship and you try to build something useful out of it to get started. That's basically what all these are. There's the first jump here. This is one of the originals where basically you start with a ship and a jump drive, and that's about it. Then there's the community content tab where you can like find community made scenarios and stuff. But mainly I just like the star system, because when you do this one, you can start on any particular planet you want. So like say I do this real quick. Yeah. So here in this screen I can choose to start on like pretty much any of the other starts, and it'll just give me a little drop pod there and stuff. It's like you can start off in space with just the spacesuit, which that's like one of the challenge run kind of things you can do, where if you want to make it really difficult on yourself, you can do like the spacesuit start with permadeath on and try to, you know, survive, get your ship and all that. You're gonna start in space with a little ship. You can drop onto Pertam, Europa, Triton, the alien planet, which is kind of like Earth, but it has slightly higher gravity. You can start on the moon with our little rover, or you can start on Titan. You can see over here it says, tells you like how the difficulty rating kind of is. Earth-like planet, to start there is pretty easy. You get oxygen and everything. The gravity's not too terrible. But if you do like Mars or Titan, the moon, most of these actually, you don't have oxygen on the planet. So you have to go and mine ice, put that into an H2O2 generator to make oxygen, so that way you can breathe. But yeah, like shit, just for shits and giggles, let's drop on Pertam, I guess. So when you spawn in, you'll be free falling in the drop pod. There are thrusters on here, but you just have a passenger seat, so you can't actually fly it. You could, I suppose, go and grab these and you can turn on like thruster override. Like that if you wanted to. But as you can see, that causes it to kind of spin out. So it's probably not the best thing to do. Yeah. And now I'm on Pertam, which has crazy high gravity. Your jetpack still works, you just burn through fuel like way faster. As you can see, there's really not a whole lot around, and generally what you would want to do to start off is grab materials and bring it over here to your survival kit. Use that to turn like stone into ingots, and it'll produce like a bunch of materials. Got a little bit of stone. Throw that in here. Go here, and up like 2,000 units. I'm not gonna have enough to make that much, but you see it'll refine that stone down into iron, nickel, and silicone. And it'll also give you gravel, which gravel you can't do anything with in the base game aside from you can make reactor components later on for the nuclear reactors. But I currently have a mod on for the... Oh, never mind. It's not on the save. I'd have to go and activate it for the save. But I have a mod that I could activate on here, where I could build a gravel shifter, which would take that bit of gravel and turn that into more useful materials. It's just like an extra step though. But base game, the only thing it's used for is for reactors. Oh, right. Progression. I have that turned on here. So the way that the progression works is basically a lot of your later game blocks are going to be locked behind building something else first. So like over here, I can't build the better refineries until I build a basic refinery. And once I build that, then I get access to the assembler and your better refineries. And then once I build one of the refineries, then I unlock the ability to make the reactors. And then if I make a reactor, then I unlock the ability to make warheads and explosive barrels. And same down here, you can't make any of your thrusters or cockpits or anything like that until you make a landing gear, a magnetic plate, one of those first. And once you build that, then it'll unlock these next two blocks. And then once you build a block from this category, it'll unlock your weapons and your atmospheric thrusters. And once you build something from here, you know, it just keeps kind of going on down the tree. But that's also an option you can turn off when you start a save. You can turn progression off and just have access to everything if you want. Then over here on the side it has like everything divided out. So if you're looking specifically for a certain DLC, like Decorative Pack 2 items, you can go and find it just by clicking there. Or say you want to see all the Prototech blocks, click over here, it'll show you only those blocks. Or if you want power blocks, it'll show you like the different solar panels you can make, wind turbines. Logistics would just be like the cargo containers. There's decoration you can build, stuff like that. But it's a really basic sort of game, but it's kind of like a sandbox, so you can do just about anything you want. You can build whatever type of base you want. You can have ships as massive or as tiny as you want, you know. It's pretty much all just up to what you want to do. But anyway, that's it's basically safe. What Space Engineers is. Let's see, yeah, that one can go. See, that's where I got the blueprint for my ship. That can go. The rest of these I'll hold on to, because right now I'm trying to move everything that I had in the this base. Trying to move that to space and set up a base up there rather than being on planet, because it's costing a lot of time and fuel to have to leave the atmosphere every time that I want to go up to space to grab some materials. So if I just build in space, then I don't have to worry about using that extra fuel. I can just turn off my what's that shit called? I forgot what it's called now. I'm gonna have to move the game just to check and see, because it's gonna annoy me that I don't remember what the word is I'm looking for. Dampeners. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Because in space you can just turn your dampener off, get up to a certain speed, and then just let it cruise. Like, I'm actively doing that right now. So like you can see, I'm not using any fuel. My speed's not increasing or decreasing or anything, and I'm just going in a straight line. I can move my ship around, it's not going to matter. I'm still going to be moving in whatever direction I left off on. If I go here, So I have a little arrow is where the ship's pointed, and then the circle with the lines is the direction of movement. So I can kind of use that to align myself back up with where my direction of movement if I want my front-facing thruster to actually be in the correct direction to slow me down as fast as possible. Of course, it would actually be faster if I were to turn the bottom towards that, because I have way more thrusters on the bottom of this than I do the front. And that's just because I'm moving literally everything from my base up here. So I have this large container completely filled up, this large container completely filled up, 5,000 out of 15,000 liters on this one, 4,000 out of 15,000 on that one. So it's a lot of materials, and it's very heavy. So if you see over on the side, it'll tell you your mass. So this container by itself is 92 million grams, or tons, basically. So it's like 92 tons. This would be 101 tons, 25 tons, 13 tons. So in total, so over on the bottom right hand side, just above where it tells me 19 hours for the battery, this is 262 tons of materials on this ship. Let me try to get that line back up. That's about right. And I'm just trying to get over towards this asteroid here that's just made of ice. So I want to make my starting space base somewhere over here near the ice, so that way I have a reliable source of hydrogen and oxygen. But anyway, aside from that though, that's pretty much the game. It's not too bad. It's not exactly the most exciting game ever, but it's definitely fun in my opinion anyway.